Hello, welcome to Living in the Flow. In this video, Lorenza and I are going to talk to you more about sensing energy. We got a request on talking a little more about that. I'm Kaylin, and let's get right into it. So I'm going to give you 3 different ways to sense energy, 3 techniques. The first technique is going to be one that I used to do a long time ago when I was a school teacher with my kids. My 5th graders could tap into this, and they were really cute. They'd be like all freaked out. So I want you to just slap your hands together however much you want and kind of warm them up, get the energy active there. And then give yourself a little space between them. And I want you to just put your focus right there, right in between. And if you are brave and you do a nice big slap, you will definitely sense the heat from the slap, which is sort of like a wah, wah, right? That energy, because that may very well be the blood rushing to your skin kind of thing, but that's not what you're sensing. You're sensing the energy that goes with it, because your focus rushes there when you get slapped, and since your focus goes there, your energy goes there. Now, the fun thing about this is you start to kind of feel like there's something there. Now, I use the wrong word. I use the word feel. And I often make a very strong distinction, because a feeling is an emotional thing. I feel happy. I feel sad. I feel excited. Whereas sensing energy has nothing to do with happy or sad. Sensing energy is something else. It's something that you do with your energy body. And you want to make that distinction so that you don't confuse yourself. Sensing energy is deeper than feeling, so you have to go deeper. So leave your feelings behind, so to speak, so that you can focus on the sensing. As you do this, you'll start to just really get a sense that it's almost like there's a ball or there's something in between. Sometimes it feels like some resistance. Like there's something keeping you from putting your hands all the way close together. If you just sort of gently hold your hands and move them around. Now, what I like about this exercise is that it is a very good introduction to sensing energy. You start to get a sense that there's something there. I recommend closing your eyes so that you're not focusing on anything else. And I recommend just trying it several times a day. Of course, our second technique is to meditate. I'm sure that meditation is the answer to everything. Everything. As long as you know how to meditate, then meditation is going to get you everywhere you want to go. In the past, I've played with the energy between my hands, and sometimes I can get it big and freak out my students, which is really fun. But anyway, so there's one technique for you. That's a nice, easy way for you to start to sense the energy and to go, oh, she's right. I already knew that, like I already was sensing, I just wasn't aware. So as you work with that, it gives you the reference point to understand what energy is a little bit like. It also gives you a sense that there isn't something that's stagnant, so it's not like a solid thing that doesn't budge and is just there. It's not solid at all. Instead, when you're sensing energy, it's important to be aware that it kind of moves. It kind of, does like that wah, wah. It flows. Energy flows. So it never just stays still. When you have a stuck energy, it can have that sensation that it's just stuck. But the truth is, energy is always moving around, even if it's just a little bit. So that's part of what you're looking for. And if you want, grab a ball or something and hold it in your hand, compared to doing the slap and watching the energy and sensing the energy and being with it. And you'll start to really get a distinction. Actually, I grabbed a crystal, and that's another great thing to do. It never did a whole lot for me as far as helping me sense energy, holding a crystal. But I have crystals that I use for channeling and that kind of thing. And I have citrine that I like to hold on to sometimes, because citrine has a nice way of zapping lower frequency energies. So when you use a crystal, you just put a crystal probably in your left hand because that's your feminine receptive side. And so that's the side that can, quote unquote, listen better. I say quote unquote because you're not hearing literally, you are sensing literally. But this is the hand that should be able to sense better. And you just put your crystal in there and do the same thing. Act as if you had slapped and your focus is right there and sense your crystal. But like I said, I don't, that's not how I learned how to sense energy. I did that and it may have helped, but that's not how I really learned to sense energy. But I use crystals and not very much, not all the time, but I do. And they can be a great technique as well. So you've got technique number 1, slap yourself. And you have technique number 2, which is meditate. When you meditate, the purpose is to be here, be now. The purpose is to be with yourself. The purpose is to listen to yourself. When you do, one of the things that will happen is your mental self will start to chatter and you're going to have to try to quiet that down. That has a sensation of energy to it. The, you know, kind of like the stereotypical women gathering somewhere and just going, you know, it has a sensation to it. As you are sitting and meditating, if you let the chattering flow by doing something like focusing on your breath or flowing your energy, then sometimes you'll start to feel things. Maybe some emotions come up, maybe something you're angry about, something you're frustrated about, something you're, you know, trying to resolve, and it has an emotional hook on you too. Those all have sensations as well. So as you meditate and you try to focus again on your breath, or you try to let those things flow, and I've got videos on how to flow. I'll put a link down below so that you can go to that video if you want to learn to flow your energy, which also is technique number 3. It really helps you learn how to sense energy. But as you do that, you start to become aware through meditation of your own energy sensation, because we each have our own sensation. And then you start to also become aware of usually the sensations you live in the most. In other words, if you're always mad, you're going to become aware of the sensation of mad, especially when you have a different day and you feel happy. If you are frustrated a lot at work, you're going to become aware of that sensation. Now, I just thought of a 4th technique for you as well. I believe I developed some of my strongest ability to sense energy through number 3 and number 4. Well, meditation too. But flowing your energy really starts to tap you into the sensation. Ever so quickly, when you flow your energy, and I recommend going to the video that I did on flowing energy, you welcome whatever you're experiencing. Step 1. Step 2, you let it be here and you let it affect you. That's where and why and how you're going to start to sense energy. And then step 3, you let it flow, you let it go. And so what happens is, let's say, you know, it's kind of like you're small, easier. You are picking up what you're experiencing, you let it flow. You're picking up what you're experiencing, you let it flow. That's one of the things that happens when you flow. And as you do, there's a natural replacement in there too. So one of the things that happens is you keep going like this, so you really get a good sense of sensing energy. This, I think, will give you a nice reference point. I taught Lorenza how to do a trick. I'll see if I can get her to do it now. Lorenza, parrot kiss? You sleepy girl. No parrot kiss, you're too sleepy. Sleepy girl? All right, well, I taught her to do a parrot kiss, which she just puts her beak to my nose. The way I did it is through repetition, and when she did it the right way, of course, I positively reinforced it. But it gave her a sense of what I wanted her to do, and then I praised her, and then the praise was gone. Then we repeated it. I gave the command, and when she did it, she got the praise, and then it went away. So that's how you teach, you know, a bird how to do tricks, a dog how to do tricks. That's kind of how you can help yourself start to sense energy. So flowing is very powerful, and it really helps you tap into energies that you didn't necessarily have a reference for before. One thing about energies is there are an unlimited number of energy frequencies. So what happens is there are your usual kind of energies. And what I mean by that is there's happy, there's sad, there's angry, there's frustrated, there's abundance, there's love, there's expansion, there's success, there's health, there's vitality. There are a lot of the usual suspects, if you will, and you get to know those kind of thing. But then there are other countless energies. I used to lead journeys to sacred sites, which was phenomenal. It just mind-boggling, earth-turning experiences. And when we would go to these sites, you'd encounter energies that you had not encountered before, energies that don't have a name, and so you can't really describe them. I mean, how do you describe that wah, wah, right? That's the best words I can use to describe that sensation. But so you find that energy is the language of the universe, and it isn't in English or Spanish or Japanese. So as you start to flow your energy, one of the things that, like I'm saying, happens is you start to encounter new energies and you get a sense of them, and then you start to go, oh, it was this sensation, and I guess I would explain it as being kind of like this, but I just, there's no words for it. That's really common. I mean, I hear that all the time when I'm working with people and we're flowing our energy, and I'm helping them with that, because there's unlimited, there's an endless, it's an endless universe, it's an unlimited universe, there's unlimited frequencies. But you have your usual ones, especially the ones where you live. All right, so that fourth technique, maybe I'll do a video on this. I'm going to have to write it down, otherwise I'll forget. That was dream interpretation, which I kind of say carefully because I learned my dream interpretation from my teachers who were channeled, and also from, let me see if I can remember the author's name. I can't. Really good book. She's a PhD. Oh, I can't remember. On how to interpret your dreams. A lot of people say things like, what do they say, Lorenza? Oh, you're sleeping. Yeah, sure, you go to sleep. I don't know. What do they say? They generalize Buddha. If Buddha shows up in your dreams, it means you're going to be abundant. The problem is energy, like I said, those frequencies are unlimited. So the way I experience Buddha and the way Lorenza experiences Buddha and the way you experience Buddha are all different. So if Buddha shows up in my dream and her dream and your dream, it actually means something different for each one of us. And the way you know what it means is you go to the sensation of it. It's all sensation. And that's because the universal language is sensation. Your dreams are in that universal language of sensation. I know sometimes there's words, sometimes you're talking, sometimes there's written words. Like, I get that. That's awesome. Oh, are you cuddling with me? See, and if you have a pet, cuddle with them and try to listen to that sensation as if this is your palm, and sense them. And you'll get a different sensation, right? As a matter of fact, did you see how my energy slowed down, my speech slowed down? Because I tapped into her energy and I matched it, and it affected everything, right? Because when you are in a certain energy, this is why you align to energies. Because if you want an energy of abundance, when you're thinking abundantly, feeling abundantly, taking abundant actions, and aligning your energy, like tuning into energy and holding the sensation of energy, then it's a lot easier to bring abundance to you. So I just did the same. You just saw me do the same with Lorenza, which means you do it. You've done it 100 million times. Now you're becoming aware of it, and you start to be able to go, ooh, I'm going to flow my energy. Maybe I'll look into dream interpretation. Like I said, not any dream interpretation, because Buddha doesn't mean the same to all of us. But so as I worked with my dreams, which I did for a long time, and I still do sometimes, I was able to understand the message, understand what was coming through for me. And I did it by, number one, looking at the sensations. And there's more to it than that. And so that's a little deeper, and I don't want to get too far off track. right? Oh, you're such a sweet girl. Yes, you are. This is my shadow because she's always with me. All right, so those are some techniques for you on sensing energy. We all want a very wonderful magic wand cure-all to do it for us. I want one too. I have been helping people and I've been a spirituality specialist for almost 20 years. I've led journeys. I've done privates. I've done everything. I've helped people. I've gone to the other side of the world and I have not found that magic wand. So if you're after that holy grail, more power to you. Please let me know if you find it. If not, you gotta just, in Japanese they say gambate, which means kind of like pull yourself up by the bootstraps and do it. Meditate, flow your energy, work with your dreams, and then meditate, flow your energy, work with your dreams. I still do it every day. I try to flow as often as I can. When I do, I feel fabulous. And then it's like things don't bother me. Why? Because I'm in the now moment and I'm in the flow and problems come. Don't get me wrong. It doesn't make your problems go away, but it does shift them and it shifts you and it makes you bigger. And so then dealing with the small problems a lot easier. I meditate every day. I try to flow every day. I recommend it highly. That is how you're going to sense energy. It takes some practice. I also strongly recommend getting into a group. If I get enough people requesting a group, I'll try to start a group. But get a group, find a friend, find a couple of friends that you want to work with and who want to work with you. Because as far as sensing energy goes, as far as conjuring energy, when you have one person, you have one person's worth of energy. When you have two people, it's like you have three persons worth of energy. In other words, like if you're meditating together, the meditation is going to be 3 times as strong. If you are all working on sensing energy, maybe you're doing the hands, hopefully you're either flowing or meditating, it's going to be 3 times as strong. When you get a third person, you're going to bump up to like, I don't know, 5 times as strong. It is exponential. You know what I mean. So invite a couple friends. If you get 5 friends, you're going to have a much nicer energy that starts to become more palpable. 10 friends, you know, when we did groups, when we did journeys or, you know what I mean, trips, spiritual trips, and we'd go to a sacred site and we'd work every day with the group. We would meditate, we would work on things, we would go to a pyramid. The energy was incredible. And when you had more people, so there were times you'd walk into the room when we were doing the practice in the room, and it's like the energy was so thick. You've heard the expression, you know, when things are really stressful, you could cut the tension with a knife. You're sensing energy. There's nothing in the air, of course, but you can sense that energy. So do it with the group if you can, because it's going to be quicker and easier and more powerful. It's just more present. It gets thicker. And I say thicker because we don't really have good vocabulary words for energy. But the energy does get denser. There's more of it. So any questions, please put them in the comments below. And in the meantime, practice, do your gambate, meditate, find a group, and just keep at it, and you will learn to sense energy, and keep flowing, and you will improve your life. Thank you for joining Lorenza and I. You ready? Parrot kiss. Parrot kiss. No? All right, she's too sleepy, and I don't think she's so good at doing it when she's on my shoulder. There's not enough room. All right, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time.